Welcome to Paranormal Stories Part 5. Now, before I get into things, I will say these next two stories are a little on the intense side, so if you're somewhat sensitive, they may not be for you. In this video, I'm going to share with you an experience I had that I believe led to my guides and angels allowing me to have a fallen angel attached to me for 18 hours. And in Part 6, I'm going to share with you that experience. When it comes to the darkest days of my life, in 2014, I was in the process of exiting this reality when Archangel Michael appeared. However, when it comes to the darkest years of my life, that would be 2020 and 2021. And that's simply because at the time it felt like everything in my life had either fallen apart or was stripped from me. I had a 22 year long relationship come to an end after girls' night out, had to sell my dream home, move in with my old man, start paying child support, came to the realization that a job I'd been working at for over 2 decades was now obsolete with these child support payments. And I was going to have to reinvent myself despite having no energy to do so. My ex started dating a lunatic at the time, and my son was getting dropped off crying, saying how he didn't like this, and I was being put through the ringer. In addition to that, I became extremely angry towards my guides and angels. On October 20th, 2020, I had a visitation from the soul of Jesus. And this brought back memories, not just past lives, but being a soul before I incarnated. And I had a memory come back to me where my highest guide presented me with my life path, and I told them that it was not a good idea. And they assured me I would be fine. However, when I thought about what happened in 2014 and how close I was to exiting with such a low vibration, and what happens when you fail this incarnation miserably, and how willing they were to gamble with that happening, this created an anger, a rage within towards my guides and angels that would lead to me having a fallen angel attached to me. One day I went to this park for a walk that I often went to, and as I was walking around, I just started envisioning how much, pain and suffering I had experienced in this life and how angry I was at my guides and angels for having to go through this. And the more I walked around this park, the more angry I got. And it got to the point where I started picturing myself throwing spears made from lava down in hell through the clouds at my guides. I'd picture myself astral projecting up there and strangling them. And this went on for about a half an hour straight. And when I got home, I was just absolutely enraged. And I sat down, and it was like clear as day. I heard an angel from my team say to me, "Some of the angels on your team are concerned you've crossed over to the other side." And it was like I had this download of all the things I've been through in life, and I just felt this. It was like an explosion of rage go through my body, and I just remember thinking in my head, "What did you expect?" And the next thing I knew, I just blinked and I was in the astral realm. I was still sitting on my chair, and I was partially in the spirit realm, and I seen my lower self as this black fog, and within this fog this hand started to form, and I felt myself reaching through dimensions, and I grabbed this angel by the neck, and I could feel this hand squeezing him and him squirming. And it got to the point where Archangel Michael yelled at me, "Let him go." And it was a pretty stern voice. And after looking at this angel with disgust, I dropped him, and that was the end of that. But this was a situation that I believe led to me. My guides and angels were like, "Okay, we've had enough of your shit. We're gonna show you, the end result of where you're headed if you continue down this path." And that's where I had a fallen angel attached to me for 18 hours, and that's what I'm gonna share with you right now in part 6.